All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Krista and Kevin. You guys been hanging out on YouTube. What's going on, guys? How are you? Coffee's good. Sun is out. No guns. No guns. Working on that. What's going on? Yeah, let's go live here on Instagram. Live on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, MySpace, Facebook. I do TikTok too if I can figure that out. Yeah, I do well to get four platforms. So what the heck, right? Hey, reading a new book called Screw Your Why by Coach Michael Burt. Find your skill, find your problem, watch your purpose find you. So it's good so far. Bubba is a big proponent of Coach Michael Burt, and I'll be hanging out with him later this year and early next year in Nashville. So good morning, Dad. What's happening? Aaron Callie, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, what's going on? Krista, thanks for sharing the link out there. I appreciate it. We're building a community here, and it's been fun. Day 600, and I don't know, 2 or 3, something like that. A lot in a row, and every day at 8 a.m. So live 365. Welcome everybody. Yeah. What did we do yesterday? Had some coaching calls yesterday. Thursday is a heavy day for me with my coach calls. Got a bunch of those done. You know, it always seems like we still get a bunch done around here too. So we get some things moved over from Dave's and a couple of Jeep loads. And Wendy's kind of putting the kitchen together yesterday and making it how she wants it and how we want to operate. So it's a challenge with no upper cabinet. So I've got some shelves to build in the pantry. And that'll be fun. I enjoy that stuff. I'm gonna bust out the track saw. So good morning, Roy Dahl and Rachel. Good morning. I saw your note that you overslept. I think it was yesterday. Must have needed it, right? Good morning, Sherry. I'll see you guys a little bit later on. Yeah, Jess Novak is here. And you guys that are lurking in the background, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You guys that share it out on the rewind, I appreciate you more than you know. And if you're watching on the rewind, just pop an RP or hey rewind replay in there, and let me know that you stopped in to say hello. So, and I don't know that I thanked everybody for all the birthday wishes last week, but I had every year I try to personally respond, not just with a like, but with a note, and I think I got everybody. It was rough. And then Wendy did a happy birthday post, and there was another 90 comments on there. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get through these two. say thank you to everybody. So I just make it a personal challenge. But anyway, for anybody I forgot, thanks for taking the time to say happy birthday, a happy anniversary, and also congratulations to Bailey and Tyler for getting engaged on Sunday night. So we've had a good run here the last several days or so. And then Bubba showed up. No, just kidding. Good to see you, man. Paul Tarasuk. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. What's happening? Wendy's here putting the links in. Bubba, you'll be pleased to know that you don't have to jump all over her about that today. So that's good news. And we're going to talk to you about Bubba's retreat to attack, November 9th through the 10th, a little bit later here. Good morning, Premier Ponds. Good to see you. Yeah, what's happening, guys? Hey, let's get relentless. Put that on a t-shirt. 10 days to becoming relentless. That's what we've been talking about. These calls in the morning have been a little bit longer these last several days. There's a bunch to this. We're going a little bit deeper, trying to show you guys a little bit more of what we do inside the Edge Live, okay? Dave Zemchek, good morning, buddy. Yeah, you have a great weekend as well. Cheers. I hope you have a great Friday. So my big idea to wrap this up was to talk about how to become the person who doesn't stop. Okay, because if we can't knock you out of the game, all right, you're just gonna be around. You just keep coming. You're scrappy, right? Let me get my full screen here so I can see my notes. Yeah, I gotta need some readers here at some point. My sunglasses, my prescription sunglasses. Bailey told me the other day. She goes, "Dad, you gotta do something with those." I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "They're crooked on your face." I'm like, things are like this. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I've got about probably 6, 7 years out of those babies. You know the prescription's wrong, but damn if it's not a grand every time you go to the eye doctors, though, right? I mean, crazy. So, anyway, Bill Hillstrom, welcome. Representing the great state of Texas this morning. Hey, I'm looking for a big flagpole. If anybody knows where I can find a big flagpole, I looked at them. I was thinking, how much can they be? Right, I want one of those big Tractor Supply ones. Right, not that big, but somewhere between the one like we have at camp, which is about a 20-footer telescoping type of thing that you can take out and bring inside. Somewhere between there and Tractor Supply. So I'm thinking a good 40. I mean, we have the lot that would take it 40, maybe 50 feet. Right, something that would take I'm thinking like I don't know, 6 foot by 8 foot flag, a good one, right? Um, so I get online now. Of course, I'm getting all that stuff on Instagram on the algorithm. So one pops up. I'm like, hey, wow, here's an 80-footer, right? Take a stab at what that might cost. $28,000 for a flagpole. I'm like, come on, dude, I haven't even bought the flag yet. So those smaller ones are looking better all the time. But I figure if you put it out in the universe, somebody might come across one on a job where they're getting rid of it. It's good 40, 50 foot or something I can sand up. And I mean, I'm talking something that goes in concrete. Okay. Not some little thing. Okay. Because this lot can handle it. I'm looking out at the field right now and the road is like 400 or 500 feet away. And it would be cool to have a lit up flag out front. Anyway, so the power of the group. You guys find me a flagpole. We'll worry about getting it here later. I'll get Peter Christensen or Larry involved with one of their trucks, and we'll bring that up 95. Wide load, long load. So, oh, shoot. Yeah, well, hey, let's get to it. I appreciate you guys being in. Let's see if anybody's on Instagram. Yeah, Krista's over there as well, locking down 2 mediums for us. Yeah, pine tree. Yeah, I could do that. Telephone poles aren't even that tall. I'm thinking something like half again the height of a telephone pole. So something like that. I guess maybe that means 60 feet. Go big or go home, guys, right? Hey, the point of discipline, right? There's a point in discipline, okay, where discipline stops being something you constantly negotiate, right? Like, we've got a lot to do today. We're moving and grooving, and the thought crossed my mind, maybe we don't have time to walk today. And I said, no, we're walking today, okay? You don't ask whether you're going to show up. You show up. We decided we're going to walk every day. We're going to walk, okay? You don't ask whether you're going to keep your word, okay? You don't need everything to go perfectly. You adapt, okay? You've heard of the thing. I say it too. Win the day. Win the day. Well, the truth is you're probably not going to win every day, okay? But you stay in the game. And eventually the language changes, okay? You stop saying, I'm trying to become more consistent, and you start saying, I'm consistent. I'm trying to become more disciplined. Start saying, I'm disciplined. You stop trying to act relentless and you become relentless. That's what our last 8 or 9, 10 days has been about. Okay. So if you're new here, good morning. I'm Bob Turner. I'm Wendy's husband. I'm Bailey's dad. Okay. I'm a business coach. I own Summit Coaching and Consulting. I wrote a book called Finding Your Edge. If you don't have a copy and you'd like one, DM me. I'll send you one. I'll write you a note in there. I'm just a guy trying, every single day to practice the things that I talk about. Do you think I win every day? Hell no, I don't. Okay. But we're trying. Okay. We're working on it. We don't miss twice. Okay. I started going live every morning, mostly because I believe that we all need a little bit of accountability, right? Some of us need a lot. We need someone in our corner, somebody reminding us what we're capable of, because I believe people are capable of way more than they think they are. Okay. We need somebody challenging us when we're making excuses. Somebody, sometimes somebody's saying, hey, Bob, you said this mattered. Does it still? Okay. That's what we're doing here. All right. Every morning, no matter what, 8 a.m. And today we finish. We've been talking about finishing for the last several days. Today, we finished the 10-day series to becoming relentless. Okay. We've talked about stop starting over, making your word mean something to you. All the titles, not confusing a bad day with a bad direction. Okay. I'm going to talk about some of that stuff today. Okay. I'm going to bring it all together. All right. I want to try to help you guys become a person that doesn't stop. Yeah, Jess, we all need some accountability. Okay. The title of the series was the word relentless was in there. Okay. Um, Relentless is not a mood. I'll say let's just clear that up. It doesn't mean like relentless. I'm angry or aggressive or running through the walls or grind 24/7. There's 24 hours in a day. Use them all. No, it's not that. Okay. It doesn't mean never resting or never slowing down. Okay. That's not what we've spent 10 days talking about. Okay. Relentless is much quieter than that. It's the person who says, I'll be back tomorrow. That's it. Bad day. See you tomorrow. Okay. Lost the sale. Yep. I'll make my calls tomorrow. Didn't perform well. Oh, well, I'm playing the long game. I'll be back tomorrow. Nobody watched your live today? Yeah. I'll be live tomorrow at 8 a.m. Okay. Did you get knocked down? Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow. So relentless isn't always loud. Okay. Sometimes relentless sounds like, okay, let's do it again. I'm going to show up tomorrow. Okay. You don't need to win every day. Of course, we want to try to win every day, right? I think that's one of the things people mistake about or misunderstand about high performance. They think the goal is to win every day. It's impossible. Okay. We talked about your floor and your ceiling, right? You're going to lose. You're going to screw up. You're going to have a few bad days mixed in there, right? We've established that. But here's what you can do. You can refuse to let one loss remove you from the game. Okay. You ever see that person? They take it on the chin. They're done. All right. They're not relentless. Okay. It's different. Okay. Think about how powerful that is. Okay. Not letting one loss remove you from the game. You don't have to be undefeated. You just have to remain uneliminated. That's relentless. I'm not going away. You guys have heard me talk about that with that mantra I have when I raced. I'll be around when the dust settles. I'm going to be there. Don't look in your rearview mirror. Okay. Think about what we talked about. I think it was yesterday. Finish what you started. And then day 8, raise the floor. Okay. Why does the floor matter? Because eventually life is going to knock you down from the ceiling. You can't live every day at your ceiling. Okay. Yeah, everybody looks great when things are going well. Things are working, right? Revenue's up, team's good. They're hitting it on all 8 cylinders, feeling good, got lots of energy, body feels great, relationship strong, feeling confident, right? What happens when that changes? Do you disappear? Or does the floor catch you? And that's what we've been really building for 10 days. Try to bring that floor up, right? Okay. We don't want to be somebody who never fails, okay? Well, maybe I'd like to be, right? But we're probably not going to be. I want to be somebody who doesn't stay down, okay? Every rep's a vote, guys. That's how identity actually gets built. Every action is evidence. You say you're going to work out, you work out. That's a vote. You say you're going to make the calls, you make the calls. That's a vote, okay? You tell an employee you're going to follow up on Friday. Damn it, you better follow up on Friday because that's a vote too, right? And you commit to showing up, you show up, and that's a vote, okay? None of these individual moments feel life-changing because they're not, okay? But stack enough of them up, and eventually your brain starts believing, oh, well, this is what we do. We do what we said we're going to do. I get it, okay? That's identity. Is this landing with any of you guys? Sounding familiar at all? Hey, you don't become relentless because you declared it this morning. I'm now relentless. It doesn't work that way. You become relentless because you've accumulated evidence, right? All those votes, okay? And guess what? The opposite's true. Every broken promise is evidence too, right? That's why day 3 mattered so much. Make your word mean something, not to everybody else, but to you. Every time you repeatedly tell yourself, tomorrow, next Monday, next week, next year, at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, maybe when things slow down or when I'm motivated or when I have more confidence or when I feel better, and you don't follow through. You're collecting evidence too. Evidence that your own words aren't trustworthy, that your own words are negotiable. Okay? That's why the small promises matter, guys. Don't promise yourself 100 things. Just a few things. And then just keep them. And then build that trust with yourself. Okay? Look at Wendy just ripping through the links over there. Ripping it. How about when we talked about, do I feel like it? I think that was day 2, right? Feelings don't get a vote. Eventually you simply stop, doing things, right? Like, how about this one? Did you brush your teeth this morning? I hope so, right? You don't wake up in the morning and go, well, you don't have a strategic planning session about whether, dental hygiene aligns with your energy today. Okay? You just do it, right? That's where we want important standards, core values, all that stuff to go. Should I make my sales calls? Yeah, not a question. Should we communicate with the customer? Absolutely. Should I keep my word? Not a question, right? Should I lead my people well today? Not a question, okay? The fewer times you have to negotiate with yourself, the more energy you have to execute. Yeah, Rachel says keep the standard, walk the walk. Super important for employees to see the leader doing what they say. Yeah, good morning, Andrea. How are you? Yeah, I think it was day 4. We talked about boring wins. So yeah, I think that was what we titled it, right? Boring wins. It becomes your superpower, right? Handling the, mastering the mundane. You've heard that cliche, right? Um, Relentless people don't need constant novelty. It doesn't always have to be new, right? They can just do the thing again and again and again. Everybody wants that the shortcut, the hack, the secret. Okay. And sometimes the secret is that there isn't one. Make the calls and follow up and lead your people and review the numbers and exercise and eat half decent. Communicate, keep promises, repeat. Boring? Yeah, maybe, probably, right? Effective? Absolutely. Speaking of effective, good morning, Josh Baker. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. Hey, you got to survive the middle too. Like, we did day 5. That was kind of the middle, right? You got to stay when the excitement leaves, okay? Because eventually, guess what? I got news. Nobody cares, right? Nobody's asking about your goal anymore. Nobody's congratulating you. Live 365 is not live 1000. It was originally to go every day for a year. And now we're on 600 and something. And fewer people are saying, hey, you're still doing that podcast thing? Nah, it's just identity now, right? Okay. Nobody's patting me on the back going, hey, good job there. No, we're just doing the thing. That's where the identity gets built, when nobody's watching and nobody's clapping, and maybe nobody would know if you quit, but I'd know. Okay. So we stay. Okay. And you attack today without demanding tomorrow. Okay. We talked about aggressive patience. You've heard Andy Frisella talk about it. You've heard Ben Newman talk about it. This might, be the balance that keeps relentless from becoming unhealthy, right? Becoming an unhealthy obsession. You attack what you can control. Today, make the call, do the rep, have the conversation, create the opportunity. Okay. But you don't demand that the universe pay you by Friday. Okay. Just do the work. Worry about the other stuff later. Allow the results to develop. Relentless doesn't mean desperate or frantic. Relentless says, I'm just going to keep planting seeds. That's all. Right? What if you stopped overreacting? Okay. And we didn't confuse a bad day with a bad direction. We talked about that on day 7. Guys, this is maturity. Like, something goes wrong. Okay. What happened? What can we learn? Is there an event or a pattern? Now what? Okay. Then move. Stop and ask yourself too. One of my favorite questions is my mindset coach, Chris Dwyer, shared this with me. He said, it's not really less of a question, but more of a statement. He said, we all have at least some ownership in everything that happens to us. Okay, so ask yourself, what kind of ownership, what level of ownership did you have in what happened to you? Okay. Use it as a learning experience. Make it pay. Then adjust and then continue. Okay. It just become harder to remove from the game by raising your floor. This is really where it starts becoming identity, guys. Maybe I can't be great today. All right. Okay. But I don't disappear. Maybe it's not my best day on the run course. I'm still going to run the race. Maybe I don't have 100% today. Okay. What's today's bar? Where's the limit? What's the standard, right? Maybe I can't make 10 calls. Maybe I make 3. Maybe I can't work out for the hour. I'm going to give it 20 minutes. Maybe I'm frustrated. It doesn't mean I treat people like crap. Maybe I'm unhappy with myself about something. I don't project that on other people. And eventually people realize this person is really hard to completely knock out of the game. He just keeps showing up. That is relentless. Okay. And you finish, guys. Finish what you started. Okay. We talked about that yesterday. Relentless people don't build a museum of unfinished projects. Okay. Hey, come over here. Look at my half done, whatever. No. Eventually they send it, they ship it, they publish it, they ask for the sale, they cross the things off the punch list, they close the loop. All right. They cross the line. So finishing converts effort into outcomes. And finishing builds another piece of identity. I am a finisher. All right. So look at what we built, guys. Let's put it all together, right? You don't constantly start over. Your feelings don't control the day. Your word means something to you. You're willing to do boring work. You stick around when the excitement leaves. You aggressively attack what you can control while patiently allowing the result to develop. You don't let one bad day convince you that the whole mission is wrong. You've raised the floor and you finish. What happens when you put all that into one person? They become really hard to stop. Not because they're superhuman, not because they're always motivated, okay? And not because everything always works. Because every time life asks, are you still in? They answer, yep, still here. Still here doing my thing. Just like tomorrow at 8 a.m., I'll be here with another 10-day series, okay? And we'll be here. We'll be doing the same thing, okay? Showing up, checking the box, running the play, okay? If you guys are business owners, a lot of you guys are, this is the kind of thing that your team needs from you, okay? Your team doesn't need you constantly fired up if you're the leader, right? They don't need a motivational speech every Monday. They don't need you running around screaming, let's go, and motivating everybody. Although I'm occasionally guilty of that, right? They need consistency. They need to know what the deal is. When they need to know when business gets hard, you're still the leader. When cash flow gets tight, when somebody quits, you're still the leader. When the big job falls through, we didn't get the contract, you're still the leader. When you're frustrated, you're still the leader. When you're tired, you're still the leader. That's relentless leadership. Your standard doesn't disappear because the conditions changed. It stays the same. All right, stop needing people to believe first, okay? You think everybody believed I'd make it 365 days? Probably not. I mean, maybe nobody knows what you're building yet, okay? You're just doing it quietly. And maybe your spouse doesn't even understand it, right? Maybe your friends don't get it. Where you been, right? I haven't seen you in a while. Maybe people think you're crazy. Hey, you still doing that podcast thing? You still doing that, blah, blah, blah. Right? And they have a way of diminishing it. Maybe nobody buys in initially. He's just a flash in the pan. Maybe the business hasn't even broken through yet. Okay. And you cannot require everybody else to believe before you're willing to continue. Okay. You have to just go. Eventually your consistency becomes the evidence. And people start saying, damn, you're still out there doing it. And then, wow, he might actually be serious about this. Wow, he's getting really good at that. Isn't he lucky? Wow, where'd this guy come from? He's like an overnight success. Same place, same thing, same person. You just finally noticed. Okay? I mean, this thing isn't about a streak. Yeah, every day, 8 a.m., I'm proud of that. Haven't missed a day. I had to get a little crazy to get a couple of them in, right? But the value isn't simply accumulating the big number, okay? The value is who I have to become to continue to doing it, okay? Not the same guy that started. That's the real game. The preparation, the consistency, the keeping my word, showing up when it's inconvenient, showing up when it says 0 in the top left, or doing it when 5 people watch, or doing it when 50 people watch, okay? Doing it when I feel great, doing it when I don't. Yeah, a streak's visible, okay? But the identity behind the streak is the real win. And that goes for like that's true for whatever you're building too, okay? And there's always going to be another test, right? That's the inconvenient truth they call it. You know, like you don't complete this 10-day series on becoming relentless and just graduate from adversity, right? Okay? Another test is coming. Another setback's coming. Another difficult employee that you thought was going to be the thing coming down the pike, right? It's going to be another bad week or a moment where you don't feel like doing it. Another opportunity to quit. It would always be easy to tap out, okay? That's not pessimistic. It's just life. All right. But when that happens, now you have a question to ask. Who am I when this happens? That's the whole game. You can't control the next test. It's coming. You can control developing the person who meets it. Yeah, less than 90 days away. It's coming, Bubba. Here's an exercise I want you to do. It's called the evidence list. All right. We spend so much time collecting evidence of where we've failed, where we could have been better. Forget that for a minute. And write down the evidence that you've already become harder to stop. Like, where did you keep going when you could have quit? Where did you show up when you didn't feel like it? Where and when did you recover from a setback or finish something difficult? Where did you keep your word recently? Where did you do the boring work? Where did you raise the floor? Okay, look at that list. And that's not motivational BS. That's evidence. That's fact. Okay, you've already got relentless inside of you. Now just keep collecting the evidence. All right? That's like create your identity statement. Okay? Not a goal, not an affirmation. Okay? Identity statement that you're willing to prove through action. Something like I'm someone who comes back, or I keep my word, or I finish, or I don't disappear when things get hard. Or simply I'm relentless, like it's right across your t-shirt. Okay? Here's the deal, though, guys. Don't put it on Instagram. Or just run it up the flagpole. Somebody say flagpole? Yeah, your calendar should prove it. If I looked at your calendar, it should align, right? Your habits should prove it. Your business should prove it. Your relationships should prove it. Your actions should prove it. Identity isn't what you say. It's what your behavior repeatedly confirms, okay? Yeah, thanks, Krista Lynn 79 on Instagram. Appreciate you, Krista. Thank you for the kind words. Guys, relentless doesn't mean never stopping, really, okay? I want to make this distinction before we wrap things up here, okay? Become the person who doesn't stop doesn't mean you never rest, okay? Rest and recover. Take the vacation, okay? Spend time with your family. Change direction when the evidence says you should. End things that no longer belong in your life or don't serve you, okay? That's not stopping. That's wisdom. The doesn't stop part means don't abandon yourself. You don't throw away your standard every time life gets hard. You don't repeatedly disappear from your own goals. You don't let temporary emotions permanently dictate your direction. Okay? You recover, you recalibrate, and then you come back. That's relentless, okay? So today I want you to prove it. No big giant challenge today. Just one word, one question, I mean. What would a relentless version of you do today? Not next year. Not Monday, today. What would a relentless version of you do today? And maybe it's just finishing the thing from yesterday. Maybe it's just showing up again. I'm back. Maybe it's doing the workout, sending the proposal, keeping the promise, all the stuff. Excuse me, apologizing, showing up. Pick one, then do it. Because like I said, every action is just another piece of evidence. It's in your corner. It's that book of confidence that you're building, right? And tonight before you go to bed, you should be able to say, that's who I am. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful. If this series connected with you at all, then you probably understand why the Edge Live exists. We go deeper, okay? Because things like becoming relentless are difficult by yourself. Not impossible, but difficult, okay? We've all got blind spots. We all rationalize. We all occasionally need somebody asking, didn't you tell us this mattered? Hey, Bubba, okay, you mentioned this. I haven't seen you do it yet. That's accountability. And inside the Edge Live, we're not trying to create more noise, more motivation, all that. We're just trying to create execution. Do your stuff. 3 live calls every month, a business development call, personal development and leadership call, and a mastermind-based call where we all basically put you on a figurative hot seat, figure out what your challenge is, and see if we can collectively help you with it, okay? The real value is the people, okay? People who want to grow, who want to execute, and who want you to win, okay? And people who are willing to ask, did you do what you said you were going to do? All right? So if you've been following this series and thinking, yeah, I need more of this around me. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate you. Reach out. I'd love to bring you into the Edge Live. It's not free, but it's I think it's the most the best value in personal development and business development and just group coaching right now. So ask me how I know, and ask people like Bubba Hogan and Pete Christensen and Paul Tarasuk and Matt Moore, Matt Blood, guys that are in there and attending our calls. Jess Novak every week, Luke and Nikki McGee. Okay, ask them; they'll tell you. Okay, Bubba. Bubba is doing the Retreat to Attack, November 9th through the 12th. Good morning, Dustin Hippensteel, just outside of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. All right. Think about everything we've talked about for the last 10 days. Okay. Sometimes becoming more relentless isn't about just add more effort. Well, just do more stuff, right? It's about getting clear about where your effort belongs. What needs to stop? What needs to continue? What needs more attention? Hey, where have you drifted, right? What do you want your next season of life and business to look like? Sometimes you need to get out of your normal environment, retreat, okay, to answer those questions. All right. Edge Live is how you get there. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. Yeah. The retreat will give you time to think, recover, connect, and get clear. Okay. I was talking to Tim Catroni this morning. Tim's going to be there. Okay. You got a lot of the great people that'll be in the mix. Bubba's coming out with all that information shortly. Okay. Yeah, you get clear, and then you attack. You go back and attack. So if you're ready for that kind of reset, check out what Bubba's got going on in November. I can't wait to go. Wendy and I will be there. It's not just going to be classroom stuff. We're going to get outside. Wendy and I will be doing a hike, organizing something where we can all get outside. Yeah, Retreat to Attack. Guys, I hope you can make it. We'd love to have you. The link is in the comments. Guys, 10 days ago, we kind of started with stop starting over. All right. And that's a perfect way to wrap this up. It's a great way to finish too. Becoming relentless doesn't mean you're not going to struggle again. Okay. Or that you're not going to screw up or have a bad day. Okay. It just means that you've stopped abandoning yourself and that you've come back again and again and again, kept your word, do the boring work, all the stuff, we talked about staying when the excitement leaves. Okay. Raising your floor and you finish. Okay. And eventually something changes. People stop having to motivate you. Okay. You're not digging for the next podcast to see if you can get through the day. Okay. People stop wondering if you're serious. You stop wondering if you're serious because you've got the receipts. You got the evidence. You know who you are. You're the person who comes back. Right. Maybe that's the definition of relentless I've been looking for throughout the whole series. Not, I never get knocked down, but I always come back. I'm going to be here tomorrow. That's it. That's the whole damn thing. Okay. Guys, thank you for spending these days with me. I appreciate it. If one of these messages landed with you, share it. That's all I ask. If somebody came to mind during this series or even today, send it out to them. More importantly, live it, okay? Don't let this just become another 10 days of comment that you consumed and forgot to put on the shelf. Oh, that was kind of neat what he said about raising the floor. Oh, yeah, I ought to do that. And then go about your day. Change something. Prove something. Build some evidence of your own. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back creating more of that, okay? Be right back here at 8 a.m. That's what we do. Guys, I love what I do. I love you guys, okay? Please share this out. Reach out to somebody who needs to hear from you today. Tell somebody you love them, okay? Tell somebody you're proud of them. Encourage somebody. Keep your word. Raise the floor. Finish what you started. And when life knocks you down, come back. That's all. Take care of your people. Take care of your business. Most importantly, take care of yourself. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Let's go, huh? All right. Take care, guys. I love you. I'm gone. We'll see you.